Today we have Rustam Kasimdzhanov, former world FIDE champion and one of the trainers of current world champion Anand. Rustam, are you first time in Slovenia?
No, in fact I was here once before, I think in 2002.
It was Olympia.
Yeah, there was an Olympiad in Bled, yeah.
And what were your impressions comparing Bled and here?
Well, actually I liked Bled. I thought Bled was a really nice place with a wonderful lake and everything was quite nice, but this place is also fantastic.
It's a bit different. Sergei Musyan told that it reminds him of Carlsbad, of old tournaments which were played in these such places.
Yeah, I think it's a classical resort, where people come basically to rest, as opposed to seaside or something like this here. I mean, people are resting, enjoying themselves. A very nice hotel, very nice food, and basically everything is very classy. A very nice organization.
So you are playing for one of the favorites, Sokar from Azerbaijan. For your team is not easy life, but always there are hopes and always fighting is till to the end.
Yeah, no, we lost this one match, which was probably unnecessary, but we figured that if we keep on fighting, there's probably still going to be a chance.
Of course, if you will win against against Russian teams, and of course Baden-Baden maybe is very dangerous.
Yeah, okay. I mean, as long as we play well, we don't care whom we play. Yeah, but there are enough good teams out there. Yes.
Yeah, correct. And what are your impressions? You are playing in national leagues for few teams, and Baden-Baden is one of your other teams for which you play. What is your impression? How it's easy to play against your teammates or not?
Well, as a matter of fact, I have not played a single game for Baden-Baden yet.
Yeah.
I'm just beginning, but basically, as chess players, we are used to this because chess players. I do not know if there are other sports like this. Because, for instance, in football, there is an affiliation to a club. You only have one club.
Yes.
In chess, I think it's quite normal that today you are friends and tomorrow you are like enemies or opponents.
Oh, sometimes it happens with football players either as they are changing clubs, so
yeah,
they are becoming.
But we are constantly playing for different clubs, because also many people, especially for European club cup, they have to choose from one of the clubs, yeah. And especially if you're a strong player playing for a strong club, then basically by necessity you become an opponent, a rival here. But yeah, I think it's pretty normal.
Yes. Now it's interesting to know you, of course, as one of the trainers of Anand, you are following the games of candidate of Boris Gelfand. What are your impressions at the moment?
Well, I mean, so far I was really busy with my own games, and since my own games were not so impressive, I had some other things in mind. But I think we're still a long way from the World Championship.
It is half a year.
I think it is more than half a year at least. And I think it's early to say anything about that. I mean, a lot of things will happen till then, a lot of tournament games will be played.
Yes, of course, and I think Anand will play some other tournaments. He has some plans to play much more than Gelfand, as I hear.
Well, he's playing now in São Paulo, Bilbao. And I think he's also supposed to play maybe London this year, maybe
yes,
Town Memorial.
Maybe London, no, Town Memorial. Town Memorial.
Yeah, no, he's still quite busy. Yeah.
Yes, he's playing very frequently. Of course, he's more, let's say, practical player as I see these things, and Gelfand is a bit more, let's say, researcher, maybe we can say. He's not so active, I mean, practically.
Well, I mean, from what I figure, Gelfand started cancelling some of his tournament obligations.
Yes, he cancelled, yes.
But I do not know. I don't know if this is for preparation or maybe just to get some well-deserved rest after Kazan. Yeah. Yes, I understand Kazan must have taken a lot of energy.
Yes, Kazan was extremely difficult tournament. I mean, extremely nervous. Not in the chess sense, maybe so much. Either was some games he played much more active chess than some other players. I mean, he played more games, but I think psychological pressure is huge.
Definitely.
How do you consider, how you recover, for example, after Anand's match? Because there is huge pressure, even sometimes is bigger on the seconds.
No, I think the pressure on the seconds is quite special, because a chess player, of course, is the performer, but the chess player is also the guy who gets rid of the pressure at the board. Yeah?
Yes, correct. Yeah,
quite a lot of things happen there, and for a second, pressure never leaves. Yeah. It's a very special kind of pressure. No, I mean, it takes a while to recover from that as well.
So, and did you mention that you had some, let's say, problems returning to chess, to active chess after working the second, or not at all?
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely. I mean, there are, of course, there are big advantages that your preparation becomes better, and but there are also difficulties of adjustment, yeah, because as a second you live a completely different life. Basically, also nowadays a lot of things are done by a computer. Yeah?
Correct, yes.
And you're so used to this computer.
You're used to spending too much time on this computers,
yeah.
and you are under huge pressure, and the responsibility is quite big. If the player loses the game himself, okay, it happens. But when the second makes something wrongly or didn't analyze properly, it will be completely different.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, I know.
Yeah, of course, I know it is there, as I worked in Karpov's group, so it was, the responsibility is quite huge.
Yeah, no, it's a very serious task. Yeah.
And it's not easy.
Well, definitely not easy. Yeah. But it's also, I mean, it's very, very interesting.
Very interesting, yes. To be in the center of such events, of course, there are different events in different places on different levels. How do you compare, for example, matches? You was second in Bonn and second in Sofia. What was this big difference in? I mean, in surroundings, not in internal work.
Yeah, no. I mean, in surroundings, I would not say there was a big difference. I mean, definitely one match went much easier than the other one, but still it was not an easy match. I mean, despite
till to the last game, the last two games, maybe some. It was one position was a bit shaky, but then everything went.
No, basically no. I mean, even in the last game, if something would go wrong, this could still become a very nervous match. Yeah? So we were really on the edge there. No, these were both very difficult matches. Yeah, I cannot really say that there was something substantially different in them.
Do you see some, let's say, quantity of matches which second can survive working on the level, or it's not big difference for you?
No, I mean each of them is quite special, and okay, I think it depends also on how your player. I almost wanted to say your student, but it's not very correct. How your player is doing in these matches. I mean, as I understand that, okay, if he wins matches, it's much easier for a second. And also, I mean, you have a certain sense of accomplishment. Yeah. Whereas, I mean, if you help and your guy loses, it must be quite horrible. But I still hope that with Vishy I will never experience this.
Okay, good luck in this tournament, and good luck in your work as a second.
Yeah, thanks.
All the best.
Thanks.